Hello, friends. Welcome back to The Cut Line. My name is Graham Nash, alongside Andrew Hillsman, and we have a very special episode for you today. So much so that we had to invite some guests back. Please welcome Mr. Luke Brenneman to my left, and then, of course, Andrew and Thomas Crow on the left as well. Gentlemen, thrilled to have you all on the show. How are we feeling?
Oh man, this is the week that we golfers dream of, man. This is Masters week. This is the best week of the golf year. We're feeling good, man. This is gonna be fun.
I feel like you're about to cry.
Well, you don't have to put it out there. That might have been the quietest introduction Graham has ever done on anything, not just this podcast.
I think it is. I could not.
Where'd the music go?
I turned it off. It's like
I kind of
he
wanted
wants
it
it
like
back.
for the entire
He wants it for the
episode.
entire episode.
You want it for the entire?
No, we don't need
Probably
that.
wouldn't sound
It's
great.
like
would
a
put me to sleep.
3.5 minute long song. So it's like
Loop that thing.
I'm just gonna turn it down. But gentlemen, we'll get the energy back up now.
Oh yeah.
Could not be more excited to have you all in the booth for this episode. We've been waiting a long time for it.
This is episode 12.
Episode 12.
Whew.
It's been a long time coming.
Can you two believe he and I have only missed 1 week? Isn't that? I mean,
That is pretty impressive.
knowing
Golf guys
us,
are golf guys.
Well, knowing us.
That's
Come
exactly
on,
right.
Graham Nash is on top of his stuff. Hillsman, you're the same. The cut line.
Sure.
You missed the cut last week, though. We won't talk about that just
we'll
yet.
get into that.
We will get into that.
Oh, jeez.
Have you plugged the new Instagram yet?
Oh
Ooh,
yeah,
I have
good
not
point.
plugged everyone.
And on
If-
YouTube.
And on YouTube. Well, we have plugged the YouTube.
That's true. Yes.
But we have an Instagram now at, I think it's just like _cut_line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there it is. It's
Yep.
got, oh wait, keep it there. Yeah, one post, 7 followers, but you know what? It's flying.
Oh, yeah.
It's flying,
Yep.
guys. Well, let's get into it. We can't go straight into Masters conversation. We got to set the table a little bit. I know. We'll start with the Texas Valero Open, which was won by Brian Harmon. Oh, dang. Brian Harmon hater. He returned to the winner's circle for the 4th time in his career. Won for the first time since 2023 when he won the Open Championship. Shot 9 under over 4 days. This was not the U.S. Open. 9 under over 4 days. He won by 3. And I mean, it was just a very well-executed event. Did you guys watch it? Brenny, did you watch?
I watched just the final round. I'm more of a Saturday, Sunday type of watcher, especially in these type of tour events where it's not the elevated or signature events. I'll typically dive in to those on Friday. We're going to talk about the Masters. That's a Thursday thing, and sometimes even Wednesday, part 3 type of deal. But from what I saw, it was a typical Brian Harmon win, a course that's playing in tough conditions, and he finds a way to steal birdies and then realistically steal pars. That's a course where some of these final pairings, groupings down the stretch are parlaying bogeys into 15, 16, 17, and so on. And you saw that, and that's why he kind of ran away with it. So that style of golf, those conditions, that's what he wants. That's not what he's going to get this weekend in Georgia, at least what it looks like. But the 4th PGA Tour victory, and that's really big for the Ryder Cup in the sake of a guy who was on the team the last time around. He's kind of fallen out of the pictures, but with a lot of the younger Americans struggling, a win, you're right back in the conversation.
That's so true. I didn't even think of that. The Ryder Cup,
Yeah.
that's this year as well. We've
Yep.
got so much good golf going on. But I like what you mentioned about the conditions. When he won the Open, it was in really bad conditions. He had a 3-shot lead at the Texas Valero Open, and then the wind started gusting at 30, and he just rode his waggles right into his 4th tour victory. Gentlemen, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, it didn't seem like it seemed like he really wasn't playing all that well comparatively to the other people in his groups. I thought Andrew Novak, when they hit the turn, was going to overtake him. And then Novak just kind of fell apart in the back. And like you said, Brittany, Harmon just rode the weather, stayed alive. That's all you got to do when you have a lead like he did, and he survived the round.
Hillsman?
I almost feel like with Harmon, the waggle issue has been documented, but he's a very good golfer. I mean, he's consistent, and to win in the conditions that he wins at, I mean, there's not a lot of players on tour, I guess, outside of the elite category that are able to do that.
I think it's a good example too of how hard it is to win on the PGA Tour. This guy was on top of the world in 2023.
Yep.
Won arguably the hardest major championship to win, and then we hadn't heard of it from him in almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's back. He shot back-to-back 66s on Saturday and Sunday to get this win. Plus 9,000 odds pre-event. And of his 4 PGA Tour victories, this one might have meant the most to him. Brian, he has a close family friend named Kathy Dowdy who entered hospice care on Friday. They are as close can be. She rushed into the ocean to save Brian's son from drowning in October of last year. She's a real superhero.
Wow.
Hoping for the best for her. And I know this meant the world to Brian. He talked about it the entire time.
Yeah.
But to end on some fun notes,
Oh, yeah.
we'll end on a more positive note. Patrick Fishburne made the longest putt on the tour since 2008. He made a 105-foot eagle putt on Sunday. That is just random, but hey, good for him.
Yeah.
And then Tony Finau made a hole-in-one on the 16th hole on Friday to make the cut. Two pretty fun moments there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, every tournament, it seems like this year has brought us something exciting or different, even if it's not a close, down the stretch sort of thing, or if it's not like a playoff or something. It seems like every tournament this year has had its own signature moment. They don't have to be like huge shots or anything, but fun stuff that's happened. I think every tournament we've seen has had one or two of those things, and it's been awesome.
We're going to swiftly move to LIV. The first thing I want to ask, Brenny and Thomas, have either of you watched a LIV broadcast yet this year?
I have. My friends know me as a LIV guy. I'm more of a LIV golfers type of guy than the actual LIV Golf Tour. Like, I really support those guys and hope that they come and compete in the majors, because I think that has made golf more fun come these weeks, and that's why they're so special. And it's also forced the PGA Tour to play more cards, and that's why we have bigger, heavy purse, awesome events. I mean, when Rory won at Pebble, you saw it there. Like, these are pretty much like a step lower than majors. But for the sake of the tour, not watching it too much, obviously Fox picking up some of these broadcast rights, I think it's going to keep growing, but was really interested to see that some of these guys, especially Bryson, thinks that they're a little bit behind right now. And at this point, now that they are picked up by Fox, I think that I'm starting to feel that way just a little bit too.
Thomas, have you watched it at all?
Yeah, I mean, I watched this week, and I agree. I just don't think it's as well of a put together broadcast as not even near the same platform as CBS.
Sure.
I don't even think it's really the same platform as NBC. And I don't like the scoreboard on the side. Like you said, I enjoy the golfers. I like watching them play. You love to watch Bryson play. You love watching Brooks Koepka play. Guys that you've seen it in the PGA before. But just the production and value of it, I think, is really, really subpar.
Yeah, we've talked a lot. Sorry, Hillsman.
I think it's tough to match especially with the improvements I think that CBS especially has made in their production value. NBC deserves their flowers too on that. I think it's really tough for Fox in their first year of broadcasting these events to come close or to match that. But to both of your points, no, you're right. I think the graphics package is a little tacky. That's just me. I know it's their brand. They like the big, bold stuff. I feel like it's a little tacky.
We've talked, too, about, like, how impressive CBS has been.
Yeah, they've been
with some
good.
of their new things, like the aerial view of a hole, and then you still have the shot tracer.
Yep.
It's very cool stuff. But, yeah, I have not watched a lot of LIV. But Mark Leishman won LIV Golf Miami. He's back in the winner's circle for the first time since 2021, even longer than Mr. Brian Harmon. In 2021, he won the Zurich Classic, though, which is the only team event. So the last time that he solo won an event was in 2020 when he won the Farmers Insurance Open in January. He shot 6 under to beat Charles Schwartzel by 1, another name that I have not heard of
Schwartzel.
in a while.
Oh, my gosh.
Sergio Garcia came in 3rd at 4 under. Bryson came in 5th at 2 under. Phil Mickelson came in 6th at 1 under. Leishman, he's not going to be playing in the Masters this year because, again, no world golf ranking points for the LIV golfers. But I think that segues nicely into our next tournament.
Before we get into it, I want to get into one more media thing. Can we talk about Kevin Kisner for a second? I think it's genius what NBC and CBS does. They know that Kisner's not a great golfer at this point in his career anymore. He's not going to make very many cuts. So they schedule him for the Saturday and Sunday of the broadcast.
Yeah.
I think it's genius. You have a guy who just played 2 rounds on this course. He can give you every single piece of analysis as what the players are looking at. I think they should do it more. I think they should have either recently retired golfers or even guys who missed the cut as on-course analysts. Guys who are following the groups.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I think you have to pick and choose if you're going to do that. And I like what they've done with Kisner, like you said. But I think you really have to pick and choose who you go after for that. I don't think obviously you can't get the guys in their primes. You can't get the big name guys for that sort of job. But, smaller name guys that maybe people are drawn to more, that people like listening to. Kisner's a great example of it. I think that's something that they might want to do in the future.
Yeah, I feel like he's done well. I've liked listening to him. I mean, I think he's only going to get better the more broadcasts he does, because there are points where it's like, all right, kids, like, let's get the energy up a little bit, bud.
Right.
Like, I'm kind of snoozing. But you're absolutely right, Thomas. Like, the analysis that this guy brings after playing 2 rounds is phenomenal. I think that's a really interesting idea.
Well, like they do Smiley's hour
Right.
throughout.
Yep.
Smiley retired from golf to go and be a broadcaster. I just think when you can get high energy guys who missed a cut and just tell them, hey, if you want to leave for the weekend, leave. If you want to stick around, follow a group on Saturday. Get Joel Damon on following a group.
Oh my gosh.
Get Max Homa following a group. Like, will these guys agree to do it? Probably not. Like, I don't think that'd be something they want to do. But if you have someone showing an interest in it, why not fire them out there for a day?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, I think it's time to talk Masters.
I agree.
We've waited long enough. Let's get into it.
Yep.
We're going to hit some headlines and just kind of break things down. The first one that I want to talk about, the headline that I feel is the biggest, you guys can tell me if you agree, is can Scottie Scheffler win back-to-back green jackets, which would be his third, and which would make him only the third? Yes, I can read my own notes. Only the third golfer in Masters history.
Fourth.
Oh my gosh.
It would make him the fourth. It's
I
okay.
can't read my own notes. Only the fourth golfer in Masters history to win back-to-back green jackets. Can he do it? Let's start with you, Brenny.
Can he do it? Absolutely. I mean, he's the runaway favorite right now, but Rory's right there behind him. But when you look at the odds and you have guys under 10-1, that's when you say these guys are ahead of everybody else in the sense of how do you win a PGA Tour event? We talked about that in the opening parts of this show where it's like Harman's win this weekend on a tough course in a standard event with the stock purse amount, and the field's not all that loaded besides guys looking to get into form for the Masters and really the guys who are like begging to get into form for the Masters in Texas last weekend. That proves that you have to play perfect golf for 72 holes of that entire week to win a PGA Tour event. And now you're pairing that with Augusta National, which some of these guys don't even play until the Masters. Some of these guys are playing in their first Masters. And the difference between Augusta is you're not tight on Saturday and Sunday coming in. You're tight on that first tee shot on Thursday. And all you have to do is listen to some of these guys talk, listen to the young guys talk. I mean, I remember Dustin Johnson saying, I quite literally was shaking walking up to the first tee at the Masters. He is the lowest total score and win in the last 2 decades there. So you really have to not just bring your A game, but you can't have a slip up. And we've seen all-time collapses at the Masters. And I think that this is a type of golf course where you have to say only certain types of guys can do it. And Scottie doing it twice now in the last 3 years, it's like he's established that and he took over the tour and he ran with it. It's going to take a guy to either emerge or a guy like Rory, who's been there, done it, won the big one, and he's like, I'm right there on that same tier as you. I really think the Masters every year, only 8 to 10 guys have any short of, maybe 6 to 7 guys have any chance to win the tournament. Just because it starts up here.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head with the Thursday nerves, but I want to hit on the kind of Greg Norman nerves of it, of what Sunday looks like. Sunday is the hardest chase in golf, but also one of the most interesting chases in golf. If you go in with a 2-stroke lead, you have to keep your foot on the pedal the entire time, and then you hit amen corner, then you get up to 16, 17, 18. Knowing what a score is already posted is, and then having to keep a lead above that or chase that, it can be really, really nerve-wracking. I think you're right. I think mentally you have to have been there before. I think it's almost impossible to win a Masters without being there, having played
as
there
a
before.
rookie. Right.
Oberg was there last year
Right
almost.
there.
Somehow.
I mean, he was still 3 strokes back from the win. So, one, you have to have been there before, but also I think you have to have almost been in contention before. You have to know what that pressure of either chasing by a stroke or two or leading by a stroke or two feels like on Sunday.
Hillsman?
You go back to, why certain guys have been so successful at the Masters, and it's exactly what Luke said. You have to be a mental killer to win at Augusta National.
Yeah.
Tiger's been so successful because he is a mental killer. He is one of the strongest mental games I think we've ever seen. Maybe the best mental game we've ever seen in the game of golf. You have to be completely in control. You have to dominate. And you have to keep your foot on the gas.
Yeah, I think the only doubts that I really have at this point, because I agree, there's no doubt that Scotty mentally can do it.
Yeah.
I just don't know if his game is there. Like, he hasn't competed in the way that I thought that he would be able to at this point, or that I think he should have. He really
At
only
this
had a
point in the
chance to
year,
win
yeah.
one tournament this year so far, and it wasn't an elevated event.
Right.
It was Houston. It was the one Min Woo Lee won.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I have my doubts about Scotty. I agree, there's no doubt that he can win.
Yeah.
But is his game ready to win? You know, is his game in the place where he can do it? And if you look at the list of players that have won back-to-back Masters, it is probably the most elite list of golfers you can have. Nicklaus from 65 to 66, Faldo from 89 to 90, and then Tiger Woods from 01 to 02.
And Faldo's win in 90 was the Greg Norman collapse, right?
I believe so.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So, I mean, that adds another layer of, like, how hard it is to go back-to-back. Like,
Yeah.
he probably shouldn't have even won that.
No.
It's like
Yeah.
the ability to go back-to-back in any major is tough. But doing it at Augusta, I mean, the elevation of it, the just how heightened of an event it is, it's tough. And I think we all hit the nail on the head that the mentals trumps the physicals anytime.
Yeah.
I'll jump in here for a second, and it felt like for the first 20 minutes of the show, we've kind of agreed on everything. I almost think that the Masters, and certainly the stats aren't really there to show, where there's only 3 guys all time who have gone back-to-back, but this is the only major that is played every single year at the same golf course.
Yeah.
Sure.
So in the sense of the position that Scotty is in, and that's what everyone's talking about, is what Graham just said, is Scotty Scheffler healthy? Is he in form? Is he confident enough to go win the biggest golf tournament of the entire year? Well, I think it almost plays into it his advantage, not saying that he's not in that shape, but relative to other majors. If Scotty was going off U.S. soil to play in the British Open as the first major of the year, I certainly think that argument would be more valid. But
Right.
if you look at what it takes to win at Augusta National, the scorecard is just violently similar every single year. You're looking right into that 8 to 12 under range is going to get you right there to at least have a chance on Sunday. And Scotty knows that. He's a smart enough guy, and he's just a competitor. Scotty could bogey 1 and 2, but at Augusta National, if you scoreboard watch from Thursday to Sunday, not that these guys do, but us as fans look at it, if you make 2-3 birdies in a row at that course, you could go from irrelevant to inside the top 10 like that. That's what happens there.
Yep.
And he's one guy that can keep his head on his shoulders, unlike everybody else. And to Thomas's point, on Saturday and Sunday, you better have that feeling of deep breath, here we go again, I'm here to fight and I'm here to win, rather than, oh my gosh, I have a 4-shot lead on Saturday at the Masters. Can I hold on to it?
Well, I think that's also part of him and Teddy Scott's strategy, probably going in on Thursday and Friday, is we don't have to be in the lead going into this. We need to play our game of golf. We need to be aggressive, but not overtly aggressive. We need to be there. And then come Sunday, we can be 3 strokes back. Not just as at 3 strokes back. It's Scotty Scheffler at 3 strokes back.
And that
I
would
think
be the
that's
headline
huge.
of Sunday. Even if he was in the second or third pairing, people would say Scotty Scheffler is right there at the Masters. Not because they want him to win, not because he's supposed to win, because everybody's thinking about him winning, and he would be too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think all the golfers are lying when they say they don't.
Yeah.
If you're walking in on Sunday in the final group, you have 3 over Scotty, you're thinking, okay, Scotty's ahead of me. What's he doing? You're scoreboard watching.
Look what he did in Houston. He shot 63 and finished tied for second out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I
Insane.
don't know if you guys remember this, but in 2020 or 2019 when Tiger won, there was all this talk about how when he won, I think 2 of his previous Masters, he shot 70 in the first round, which kind of shocked me at the time because I was like, he won like 3 Masters shooting 70 in the first round. That's not that deep.
Right.
But when you break it down like that, Brenny, like the range is 8 to 12. You got Dustin Johnson at 20, but it was COVID and they played in August.
Right.
It was a
playing
totally different
completely
course.
Yep.
But you really, in that first round, if you're just at par or somewhere in the 70 to 72 range, you
You're good.
are in prime position
Yep.
to win. And I think that's what people forget.
What is the score on after Thursday? 5 under? 4 under?
And even if it is,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. That's the
exactly.
point. It's like the real guys who are in the hunt, like someone is going to go shoot some international guy that probably none of us have heard of and is going to top all the ESPN headlines while they have the rights, is going to be on that leaderboard. It's the same way every single year. It's sometimes an older guy that does it. How about the young kid Sam Bennett who was all over it? He stayed in it, so give him credit. But it's just the sense of like the real hungry dogs who are those, 4 to 6 guys that we keep talking about are the only guys that I really feel have a chance to win it. They don't even look until Sunday, and that's why they're the winners at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think Saturday, I mean, everybody knows Saturday. It's called moving day for a reason. I feel like if you're a guy who's comfortable that you're going to make the cut, that's when the tournament starts. You kind of just sit where you need to sit throughout the first 2 rounds. You make the cut. The cut is what? Usually around 1, 2 under?
I feel like it's normally over par.
It's okay, maybe 1 or 2 over.
Yeah.
Is probably around what the cut usually is. Then on Saturday, you're like, all right, this is go time.
Yeah, I agree. I think let's move to our next headline.
Yeah.
Because I want your guys' thoughts on which headline is bigger.
Yeah.
Scotty going back-to-back or Rory McIlroy completing the career Grand Slam after he's had his best start to a PGA Tour season in his career before April.
We've had this discussion, not us, but we, as in the golf world, has had this discussion every year running for the past, I don't even know how many years. This year it feels different. I know we say that every year, but it actually feels different this year. You look at how he's done, like you said, best start to a season in his career. I don't know if he doesn't get it done this year, if he's ever going to get it done. I really don't. This seems like it has to be the year.
I don't disagree because if you look at this, so this is his 17th Masters start.
Yeah.
He's made 13 cuts, 7 top 10s, 4 top 5s. That's great.
Yeah.
He hasn't shot in the 60s at the Masters since the final round of 2022.
Yeesh.
That is a long time ago. That is a lot of rounds. And that is a lot of time for your mental game to collapse. And as we just said, your mental game at Augusta is the most important part of the entire 4 days.
Yep.
And it feels like right now and as of late, Rory at Augusta National is not clicking.
No.
There is something majorly off. I don't know if it's his last chance, but I think that this is his best chance to have the most confidence going into the tournament.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, 4th at Dubai, 1st at the Pebble Beach, 17th at Genesis, 15th at Arnie, 1st with the Players, and 5th at Texas last week.
He has shown up in the big moments.
The best golf of anyone in the world right now.
Yep.
But think of it, the Final Four. Say a guy playing in the NBA. 10 straight years, you go to Game 7, you have a free throw to tie it and to win it. Time expired, and you miss it 10 straight times. Think when you go back the last time you're going to make it? I think you're right. I don't think if he is in contention, say tied, going into 16, 17, 18, can his mental take over and actually work and win the tournament? I don't think so. I think the only way that he wins is if he goes into Sunday with a 4+ stroke lead. Wow.
I agree. I think if he's got like a 5-foot putt on 18 to win or tie, I think he's missing.
Oh my God.
I think he misses it.
Guys, we're digging a Rory into a grave right now that I don't think he belongs in. Obviously, the U.S. Open collapse, and that's what people call it, and it was when you look at the short lip out. But guys, Bryson DeChambeau won that golf tournament by getting up and down from 35 yards out. Like that's a golf course. What did he win that tournament at? 4, 5, 6 under par. So there were bogeys to be made at Pinehurst that week. Unfortunately for
Not
Rory,
on 18 with a 3-footer though.
You're right. Unfortunately for Rory, some bad missed putts down the stretch, and that's not what you're going to do if you're going to win golf tournaments and succeed and eventually put on a green jacket. But let's not act like this guy hasn't done everything in the golf world besides win this tournament.
Yeah.
And we can't act like he hasn't been there before.
Right.
So if you've been to the weekend and if you've blown a weekend, I'm sure that sticks with you even more than winning the weekend. So for the sake of Rory McIlroy and the golf he's playing right now, I think Andrew hit the nail on the head. This is the year that he can do it. I don't think he's going into this tournament like, oh, I've been really good in the PGA Tour events. I won at Pebble Beach. Everything is building up for me to choke the Masters. Rory's like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to show Scotty Scheffler that I'm the best player in the world.
Right. He is playing the best in the world. There's no doubt.
No
I think
doubt.
He knows it. I think everybody else knows it. That he's playing the best golf of his life, not just like in the world. It's both those things. So I'm high on him this year. I really am.
He's playing the best golf in the world prior to the Masters.
Yes.
He's been playing the best golf in the world at times before major championships, and he hasn't done it. I'm not saying he can't. I agree.
Yeah.
I think he's playing the best golf in the world of anybody right now, but I'm just saying when it gets to Sunday, I think at least a 3-stroke lead.
Yeah.
We'll put him in a very comfortable spot. If it's a stroke lead, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will revise my point as well to say I don't think that Rory would quote unquote miss the hypothetical 5-footer because he chokes in big moments. I say he misses it because it's Augusta and because he hasn't had success there to build up his confidence. And to your point about competing in the weekends at these big tournaments, the last time he won in a weekend at a big tournament was what, 2015? Yeah. Wasn't that the last time, or maybe 2014?
Yeah.
The last time he won a major?
2014.
So I'm just not convinced. It's been a long time, and the closest he's gotten since was last year against Bryson at the U.S. Open, and he choked.
Yeah.
Bryson, as much as you said, he did go out and he win. He made the best up and down that I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
But the back-to-back misses inside 4 feet when he was perfect on the PGA Tour, or no, maybe that weekend. Maybe it's just that tournament.
Yeah.
He was perfect inside 5 feet until those last 3 holes, and he missed 2 in a row. I'm a guy that can't avoid the stats.
No.
And so I think that's what I'm looking at. But I do want to move to the other side of the U.S. Open and talk Bryson. Bryson DeChambeau hasn't had necessarily the best of starts to his live season. Hasn't won, which I'm sure is what he would qualify as a good start.
Yep.
But he won the U.S. Open last year, his second U.S. Open and second major title. And he had his best finish at Augusta last year as well, tied for 6th with around a 65, 73, 75, 73. So he didn't have a great weekend. Is this his year in his 9th start to compete and potentially win the green jacket?
It's so tough to say with these live guys now because we don't have an accurate measure of how they're playing against the rest of the field. We just don't, right? Because especially in Bryson's case, there's only a couple of guys on live. Maybe he might be the only one at this point. I guess you can lump Rahm in, but Rahm's not playing well right now.
No.
That have a chance or have experience to win at Augusta. So I think it's really not, I don't think it's really possible to say at this point, can Bryson DeChambeau? I don't think you can say anything definitive just because we have not seen him match up against the same quality of field.
I believe that live golfers can compete in majors.
Sure.
I mean, clearly
They've done it.
Yes, I agree.
Every single one.
Right. But I agree with what you said that they haven't been in this level of competition in a little while.
Yeah.
I think Augusta being the first one, can it happen? Yes. Would I put my money on a live guy heavily competing? No.
Yeah.
Would I put my money on a live guy heavily competing in the next 3? Yes. But I think they need to see it first.
Yeah.
I think they need to have the refresher of what this kind of competition feels like, what this kind of golf tournament feels like, what a PGA tournament field feels like. I think they need to feel it first. Then in the next 3 majors, wouldn't surprise me if one of those guys won.
Yeah, because you remember, like, it has been such a long time since these guys have played major championship golf. Everybody kind of thinks about, at least I've thought about this before. Oh, you think that the major season is pretty drawn out. It goes through the whole season. The major season is done after mid-July.
Yeah, that's true.
Then there's no major championship golf outside of the Ryder Cup every other year, which most of the live guys don't play in, other than Bryson. So they haven't played major championship golf in almost 2/3 of a year at this point.
Yeah.
So Thomas is right. I think they've got to see major championship golf before they have a chance to win.
Bernie, what are your thoughts?
I agree with everything that Crow said, but then I take a step back at Augusta National and a place that Some of these guys can't even get on if they try to get on.
Yep.
The Maverick McNeelys of the world, the Denny McCarthys. And these are guys who stuff the FedEx Points Cup rankings. And then you look at the odds and they're 120 to 1. Sung J Im, 111 to 1. The legend, Justin Rose, 200 to 1. Wyndham Clark, 90 to 1, is probably going to play on the American Ryder Cup team. So now I'm like, okay, we talked about what we did. The score to win is going to be right around 10 under par, and you're playing 72 holes of golf. I just don't know if I can firmly agree with the argument that Dustin Johnson, Sergio Garcia, obviously the guys atop the list, I'll even throw in Phil Mickelson in there, and then you start talking about the heavy hitters, Bryson, Brooks, John Rahm. I think that they can compete every single year at this golf course because they come in and there is a totally different vibe at this place compared to any other PGA Tour event where you walk in as the defending champ or any other place than Augusta National. If you own a green jacket and you go to that Champions Dinner, you walk in there on whatever tour you're playing in, whether you flew in from Dubai the night before, and it feels like home. And I don't know because I've never been there and I don't know that feeling, but just from what it sounds like, and I've read a lot about it and watched these guys talk, once you're in that winner's circle at Augusta, nothing can take you out of it. So I have a hard time saying that I could confidently tell you that a PGA Tour golfer, as well as they may be playing and as good as the competition and as difficult of the courses, I don't think that they're any more comfortable than a live guy at this place.
Do you think it sort of sets just the record straight amongst everybody because it's Augusta National?
Yeah, because say what you want about these guys. Say they chase money. Say they play exhibition golf, which I personally don't agree with. But all the arguments that have a little bit of validity in live,
it goes out the window.
It's like, I've won here and you haven't. And this is the king, the pinnacle, the number one feat in golf is to own that jacket. And if you do, then you beat everybody in the world that week of golf.
And especially when you're paired up with a guy like Rahm. You know, you mentioned, say, Denny McCarthy. He's paired up with Rahm on Thursday. I don't think Rahm has that many nerves. I've won here. I know what it feels like to win. Do I still think that the competition aspect is a part, that they need to feel kind of the whole shape of it when the Denny McCarthys of the world have felt it for a couple weeks? Yeah. But I do think that winning, obviously winning a green jacket is huge. So there's an aspect to it there. You hit it right.
Liv absolutely, I think, has the reputation of kind of being a party on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not, it's not the PGA Tour. They don't even play 4 rounds. Like it's not taken seriously.
They play in shorts.
They play in shorts, right? There's a party hole. Like it has this reputation. But to your point, Brenny, if you take any single Liv golfer and you drop them in any major championship, what they have done in the past year is like gone. Like they wipe it out of their head.
Proven it. They really have.
Yeah.
Valhalla last year, Xander Schauffele beat Bryson DeChambeau.
Yes.
These live guys aren't collapsing down the stretch. They're in the hunt every time, and the ones they have not won, I know it's been strictly Bryson out of the live guys who've won a major, but the guys who have not won, they've gotten beat. And I think the argument could be there if you have a guy that has a 6-shot lead going into Sunday, they've played all world, and Dustin Johnson shoots 12 over par, and it's like, well, that's what you get for playing 3 rounds of party golf in Miami. It's just not the case. I don't think the argument's there, especially at Augusta National.
We've talked about 3 of probably the biggest hitters, the biggest headlines coming into this Masters, I'd say. I want each of you to give me 2 players that you think could fight for a green jacket this year. And like we've said, any of them can.
Yeah.
But if you could dumb it down to 2, and I do have the odds, the betting odds down here as well, which we will tell the listeners. But Brenny, I'll start with you. Give me 2 players that you think can compete on the weekend.
Compete as in guys who have not won, or just overall guys that can compete?
Overall.
Well, I'll save my winner's pick and not throw that in because I think it's pretty obvious that once you see who I pick to win, he's going to compete because he's just truly a competitor. I think John Rahm is the first guy that I'm immediately going to jump to answer that question. John Rahm it just has one of the most natural play it the way I want to play it type of golf swings.
Yep.
And when he gets hot with that putter, oh my goodness, look out. It feels like John Rahm just can 2-putt everything. He's won at Augusta National before. He's one of those guys that's in that same category as Scheffler, McIlroy, I don't even know. I guess we have to put Schauffele in there now, but I would even put him above Schauffele in that competitor standpoint. He goes in there to kill. He's not shaking hands. He's not being friendly.
Yep.
He does not care who he's playing with. And I think Jon Rahm will absolutely compete. The second guy, I'll have a little bit of fun with it. And I think I'm going to say Joaquin Niemann. His game is just so pure. I've really liked him ever since he made his Masters debut like 5 or 6 years ago. I always grouped him just because, I mean, they're obviously from two different places, but I always compared him to Abraham Answer. We're just so strong with the short game and always flew under the radar, never won, but was always in the top 20. And it was like, this guy just consistently makes himself money, and he eventually goes to Live, kind of takes over Live. And he won multiple Live events last season. He's always in the hunt. He's kind of one of their like premier guys over there when it comes to showing up every week. And he's under 30-1 to win this golf tournament. He's played this now 4 or 5 times in his career, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's at least in the hunt come Saturday and Sunday.
The golfer who Phil Mickelson says should be the #1 golfer in the world. If Liv got world golf rankings, Thomas, I'll throw it to you. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll just give one and then keep my winner till we kind of pick that, I assume, at the end.
I like it.
I'm going to go with Ludwig Aubert. I mean, we talked last time I was on this show. I talked about him for 20 minutes. It felt like. I won't talk about him that long here, but first reasoning, he's done it before. As a rookie, finished second last year, 7 under. Scotty beat him by 4 strokes, but he beat everyone else by 3 strokes. He was there when it mattered last year, and what I think was big was there were guys who were chasing Scotty really heavily and screwing up. Morikawa goes water 16. A couple of different instances of guys screwing that up. Aubert never made a real push, but he never messed up either. He was there mentally. He knew what to run for, and it was his first time ever playing.
Yeah.
I think he has the experience of it now. He's really playing not great golf in the last probably month. He missed cut last week.
Yeah, he did.
But
He
he
won.
has a win at Genesis this year. He had a chance at the tournament that Harris English won.
Yep.
He was sick.
The Farmers.
Yeah, he was winning the tournament after Thursday, got sick with Drew. I think he's playing good golf. I think his mental is right, and I think he's a guy that comes Sunday, he's made the push before. He made it at the Genesis. It didn't even look like he was going to win the Genesis.
No.
And then on 16, 17, 18, just smoked him. So I think Aubert's my guy, one of my 2 guys that could put it on.
I like it.
I have my winner. I'm not going to mention him here, but I'm going to go a little bit off the beaten path with one of these guys. I think Aubert is the guy who's like, everybody is kind of lumping him in with the guys that, have a shot to win. But I look at who's kind of hung around at tournaments, hasn't won this year, and I'm not looking at the guys in these top 10 betting odds. I'm looking at Shane Lowry.
Oh, wow.
I like it, Andrew.
I'm looking at Shane Lowry because he has hung around in tournaments this year.
Sure.
Pebble, he hung around. Like, he has been contending, it feels like to me. I don't think he's a guy that people are looking at enough heading into Augusta.
And he has a major championship win under his belt.
That's right.
So that's a good pick. I'm going to also save my winner now because I like that. I think that's a good idea. I'm going to say, though, that I think Justin Thomas is going to have a good year at Augusta. He's been in good form in 2025. He's also been kind of hanging around, hasn't won anything, but he's played really good rounds at Augusta. Hasn't been able to put together 4 really solid rounds, but I like him heading into this week. We will, I think, skip the betting odds for now because it'll take a while to read through all of them, and I want to make sure that we get everything covered. So let's move on to our gimmies section, our quick news hits, starting out with Carla Bernat Escudero of Spain winning the Augusta National Women's Amateur in her 3rd start. She shot 3 straight rounds of 68, and not all of those were at Augusta National. Let's make that clear, though. The format, they played 2 rounds at the Champions Retreat golf course. Then there was a cut. Everyone played a practice round on Friday at Augusta, and then the final round is at Augusta National on Saturday. She won. I watched the end of it. It was really impressive. She held off the previous champion from the year before, and I just love that this tournament is being played because this is
awesome.
The only chance right now that women have to play a tournament at Augusta National.
Yep.
And I still think that's kind of jarring.
It is.
I think there needs to be a tournament for the professional women to go play at Augusta National. But
Yeah. I don't think, I don't remember. I think Augusta National allowed their first female member, like female honorary member, in 2012. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, something like that. I don't remember the date, but it was like
I think
very
it was
recent.
not, it's not as long ago as it should be.
Right.
But yeah, the ANWA is usually really good golf every year. This year, no different.
Yeah, agreed. Rory has been in the
boy.
news a lot, as you might guess. Brandel Chambly kind of backed up some of the things that we said, saying that Augusta National brings out the worst golf in Rory annually. He brought up some statistics. I won't get too much into that. I want to talk about Rick Lerner, who said that if Rory wins, he will be the first true legend of the post-Tiger Woods era, and ask you guys if that is true or not true. Bernie, I'm
This
looking
is
at
a
you.
tough one to
brutal.
go first for.
Yeah.
You've gone first for a lot of these. I can. let
No,
someone
no,
else go first if you want.
I'll take it. I looked at this when I was going over, and I just said it's kind of a game time decision, and now I'm in that decision, and it's still just as tough.
Yeah.
For me, it's like you say the word legend, and I treat that as a category of its own.
Yep.
Is Scotty Scheffler a legend? I mean, you're talking about a guy that has 2 green jackets. You're talking about a guy who has won the most tour events in a season since Tiger's run, which will never get past. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, yes, he literally had a legendary year, but then you look at this question, it's like, if Rory McIlroy isn't a legend in the game, then what are we even talking about Scotty just
Yeah.
yet for?
Yeah.
So if Rory wins, like no doubt yes, the answer to the question is yes, but like the question for me is more is he not already a legend of the game? Like it's not like Augusta's beat him up where he hasn't won, but he still has 2 top 5s, like 5 top 10s. He's in the hunt every single time he plays this golf course outside of 2 times in the last decade. So I would make the argument that Rory's already a legend of the game, and if he wins this one, he is right there. And he belongs there, and it almost stinks for Rory that his inability to win the major tournaments in the last decade is still holding him somewhat out of these conversations that I still think he belongs to be in.
Yeah, here's the deal with this take from Rich Lerner, right? I think, and I don't know if this is crazy to say, there are tiers, right, of this. There are different levels of this. I think you have legends here, and I think you have Tiger here. I think he is above the legends. Is that crazy to say? I don't think so.
I think you put Nicholas in that.
Well,
Yeah.
yes. In recent years, I don't think anybody. Yeah, Nicholas is absolutely there.
I think
we talked
Nicholas-
about this last week.
We did.
We judged that Nicholas is the greatest major champion of all time. Tiger Woods the greatest golfer of all time.
Yeah. I agree with what you're saying. I think Tiger and Nicholas.
Yep.
You have all-time greats and legends, right?
Yes.
Where does Rory fall into that?
He is getting
I
close
think he
to
is
the
a
legend.
legend
Yes.
already. I think he's already a legend of the game of golf. We have grown up on Rory.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is a huge generation. There's a generation growing up now on Rory. There's a generation before us that grew up on Rory.
Yes.
He is a legend in the game of golf. He has been a fixture for coming on 20 years.
Yep.
But he is not an all-time great.
No.
He has
I would
4
agree.
major. Even if he wins on Sunday,
Yep.
he's not an all-time great.
Even with a Grand Slam?
I don't
I
think
don't
he's.
Category does that put him in?
I don't think he. Yeah.
Brooks Koepka has more majors than Rory does.
Yeah.
Correct.
Let's just remember that.
But is there an element to successfully completing the Grand Slam where you can say, I have won the biggest tournament of every single year at every single location
Yeah.
in that sense?
I think that he does reach the all-time great category because of his longevity
Yes.
as well. This was something we talked about last episode. If you look at the World Golf Rankings in, I think it was like late March in 2015, 2020, and
yeah.
2025, Rory is top 2 every single time. He was number 1 in the world in 2015 and 2020, and then now he's number 2 in the world to Scottie Scheffler. I think he does reach all-time great category if he wins. Because if you look at those that have the Grand Slam title, whatever you want to call it, to their name, it is the most elite category of golfers that you can find. I wrote it down here somewhere. Here it is. Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, and Tiger Woods.
Yeah, you don't get better.
And then you parlay that with his dominance on the PGA Tour. That's
Yeah.
what makes the legends of the game, and especially golf today. It's like you put the tour stuff aside. We like Scotty, it's unbelievable, but like Andrew said, it's like a different category. Like who is winning the biggest tournaments at the biggest venues at the hardest locations when it means the most? So then we ranked those guys, and then you can kind of use the PGA Tour stuff as backup, and he has unlimited ammo at that point.
Yep.
I want to stick on our Masters talk and ask you guys what the greatest shot in Masters history
Here we go.
is. I've put it down to 4 because there's obviously so many greats. The first option, Phil Mickelson shot out of the pine straw on 13 in 2010.
It's a good one to start with.
Jack Nicklaus's putt on 17 in 1986 when we got the well-known yes sir call. Tiger Woods chipping in on 16 in 2005 when we got in your life have you ever seen anything like that, which I hadn't. And then of course Bubba Watson's wedge from 155 in the woods on 10 in 2012. Who wants to start this out?
I have a proposal.
Yeah.
Someone counts down, we all say them at once, because I think there's going to be some agreement here.
Okay, you know what? We're going to use the aerial camera for this.
Yeah.
I like it.
Just say the guy's first name.
Say
Or
the
we
guys
could throw up like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, we can just use that when it hits a certain number.
No. I'll count you guys down, and we'll just say the first name of the player. Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Tiger.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Easy.
That's
enough.
why I wanted to do that, because I think there was going to be a lot of agreement on that. There is no better shot ever.
It might be the greatest shot ever.
It is.
In golf.
It is.
I think it's the best shot
It
in golf
is.
history.
Yeah. It was by far
When
the
you
most
when you
clutch
think
of
of,
it.
When you think about the
golf,
situation
that comes to your
that and you think about, because remember, if I recall correctly, did he not duff the first one? Or
No,
that was
that was
That was
different.
different. See, the fact that
done
even
it,
get it
yeah.
mixed up is
Yeah.
is that's Tiger. But you think of the most legendary moments in golf history, not just Masters history, that goes to the top instantly.
Vern Lundquist's call, I use in your life it as a daily term. I say that all the time. It's a legendary
Oh,
call.
yeah.
It's a
Yep.
legendary shot.
Yeah.
I think you're right. When you think of golf, that's the shot you think of.
You think of the green and yellow
Yes.
Augusta logo,
Yes.
and then just right there, blobbed in the
Boom.
middle of it, is that Sunday red on Tiger Woods.
You
And the
think
golf
of the shot
ball.
sitting
Just
and
trickling.
sitting.
Right.
Right.
Dude.
Oh my gosh.
And then you think it doesn't go in, and then it does.
Yeah.
And then that
That's
just
so
legendary, just
Yes,
right up
yes,
at you
yes.
uppercut.
So good.
I'm glad we all agree on this.
We do.
Nicholas's putt was really good. Phil Mickelson's shot was really good.
Dude, they're
They're all
so
really good, but that one's just so much better than the others.
Yeah. I've got some non-Masters gimmies on here, but
Ooh.
I want to make sure that we get our Masters ones, and we're running out of time a little bit. So we're going to skip and go to our next Masters adjacent question.
Ooh.
Gary Player recently said that the Open is, quote, by far the greatest tournament on the planet. And he then went to say, I rate the Open as number 1, the U.S. Open is 2, PGA at 3, and Augusta at 4. How do you guys rank the majors? Crow, you're shaking your head hard. I'm going to start with you.
I just think that's a clickbait comment. Like, come on. Like, maybe these guys think of the tournament differently than we do because of they're the ones playing it. But like, the Masters is 1, and then there's a gap, and then you can go 2, 3, 4. I would actually probably agree with his 1, 2, 3
I think so.
But
Yeah.
Augusta at 1. Augusta, people who don't even know anything about golf
You're right.
will watch the Masters and
Yep.
know the Masters.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, and March Madness of golf.
A tradition unlike any
Any
other.
other.
That's right. That's the only one.
I couldn't agree more. I don't think anything else needs to be said. I
No.
think Crow hit the nail
He's
on
got
the
it.
hammer.
Yeah.
Golf Digest recently asked the question, this could be clickbait as well. Could Jack Nicklaus break par at today's Augusta National? The course is over 600 yards longer today than it was when Jack won in 1975. I think he could win the tournament.
He could win it.
This is in
if
his
he had
prime?
modern equipment,
Yeah, in his prime.
yeah. Oh, he absolutely would break par.
I think he's
I don't think there's any
in the
doubt.
tournament.
Be-
Yeah.
No doubt.
My old golf coach, big Jack Nicklaus guy, he watched Jack Nicklaus play, and he said that when Jack Nicklaus came out of college, his quads were like the size of other people's torsos. Like this guy just had a brute Midwest strength that no one else had. And he made the claim from like day one when I started working with him that if Jack had Tiger Woods' equipment, he would beat him like every day of the week, like clockwork. And that he would outdrive him.
Wow.
Like it would, like there'd be no question who the greatest is. I can't make that claim.
Wow.
I can't make that claim because I didn't watch Jack play. I obviously know what he's done, but I think there's no question he can break par. I think he can compete to win. It's prime Jack Nicklaus, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, to ever play at Augusta National. So we're going to move right past that. I do want to give one non-master shout out to Alex Ovechkin.
Oh, yeah.
Who recently became
this
the
is-
all-time NHL goal scorer, passing Wayne Gretzky. He apparently made a hole-in-one his first time playing golf.
That makes sense.
I saw the video, but it didn't
You
actually
did?
show the shot.
Yeah, it was like no one was filming, and then all of a sudden, whoa.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. But
Fair
who
enough.
knows?
Fair enough.
Love Ovi. He's great.
Well, quick shout out to another great in a different game on ice. I want to ask you guys, see if you can guess the 4 golfers who have won multiple Masters over the past 20 years. Since there's 4, we're going to go kind of like down the line. So, Brenny, I'll start with you. Name one of the 4.
Bubba.
Yep, Bubba Watson.
Scotty
Scheffler.
Last 20 years?
Yeah. Those were the easy 2. Well, there's actually another.
I know
there are
is.
2 more easy.
Yeah, I
Should
know
be.
there is.
It's Phil
Yeah.
and Tiger, right?
No, Phil. Is it Phil and Tiger?
It's
I was overthinking it. It's Phil and
Just said
Tiger.
whatever.
Crow's
Yeah.
like, this game's stupid.
I thought Bubba was the hard one.
Yeah,
Well,
that's-
I'm a lefty, so I know my.
Are you really?
I am, yeah.
Bubba would have been the one it would have taken a second to get to.
Fair enough.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that section was quick.
Yeah. I
Sorry,
was overthinking.
I ruined that game.
No.
You're good. You're good.
I was going to say something stupid. I probably wouldn't have come up with anything. So
saved it.
yeah, thank you.
Well,
Oh my
we'll
gosh.
talk Champions Dinner. Scotty Scheffler's Champion Dinner this year is the cheapest of the last decade. His dinner costs $108 per plate, which is still like
It's a pretty good dinner.
It's a pretty good dinner. The most expensive was Hideki Matsuyama in 2022, $220 per plate. And then everyone fills it in between. I don't want to take the time to read it all, but
That's what you get when you put Wagyu steaks on the menu.
yeah, right. I do want to ask you though, we're not going to go full Champions Dinner, but what would your entree be if you were a champion and you had to choose your dinner? Hillsman, we'll start with you.
I don't know, frozen pizza? Like, I'm kidding.
Ramen,
yeah, the college staple. Gosh, I don't know. It'd probably be some sort of steak.
steak,
Oh, yeah.
crow.
Bacon double smash burger.
Yeah, sign me
I
up.
like it. Brenny?
Ooh. Well, I was gonna go cheeseburger.
We
but
all know you're going to say Skyline Chili. I'm kidding.
no, I mean
chili.
honestly, that would be like a really cool Cincinnati flavor that I could bring to Augusta if I
Yeah.
ever one day
Just
was
cater in.
If you ever go and
in
win a
competition.
major,
That would
the
certainly be a
Masters.
part of it. I'm gonna go away from the normal. I'm not a big steak guy myself. I'm a big burger guy, but right there behind it, I really like sushi.
Ooh.
So
Bro,
I
I'll
think-
meet you there.
I think if you brought in like some just and not
Top
that I've
end.
ever had it,
No.
but just some like high level sushi where
Seafood
some
sort of thing,
guys
yeah.
are gonna go seafood, some guys will get different with it. You could please a lot of different people, and
Yeah.
the way these menus are laid out, there's pretty much 9 different things that everybody can eat. But
Right.
I think sushi would find a way on there.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree. I would go
Wow.
the sushi route. I think it would be so good. That's what Hideki did. It cost $220 per plate. so-
Sushi and Wagyu steaks. Like, it's hard to get much more expensive than that.
Exactly. We're going to
man.
move to Made or Missed, our favorite game show here at the Cut Line.
It's not my
Hillsman-
favorite anymore. I suck at this. I'm
Hillsman is-
terrible.
Hillsman's trailing by 14. He got 4 points last week. I got 7. I picked Burger to win. He tied for 30th. Hillsman chose Oberg, and he missed the cut.
It wasn't a bad pick.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Well,
We
it
just have
was,
to update
but
the
yeah.
people.
Yes.
And we're going to go right back to the well. We're going to start with Ludwig Oberg. Hillsman, is he going to make or miss the cut?
I cannot. I can never bet against him. He's going to make the cut. And I know I'm going to be wrong, and I'm going to hate picking this, but he's got to make it.
Well, to make you feel better, I'm going to say he makes it as
Thank
well.
God.
What do you guys think? What are your thoughts?
Yep.
Oh, what are your thoughts?
He's going to make the cut.
Yep.
I don't
He's
see.
making it.
He's been successful. I don't see him missing. I really don't.
Okay, then I'll hit you with Cam Smith.
Oh God.
Live guy. We got a lot of live guys on here
and
because we don't get a
good,
chance.
right? Yeah. Like another major champion,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, he's got the ability to win. I feel like if he didn't sign with Liv, he would be a top end PGA Tour guy. I really do. If he
I think
didn't
that's
move over
fair.
to Liv, I think he would have really been a contender on the PGA Tour.
You're avoiding.
I am avoiding,
Give
but
me
I'm going to make my decision. I think he's going to miss the cut.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to say that he makes it.
Okay.
So this is where you guys come into play.
Oh, yeah.
Is Cam Smith going to make or miss? Brenny.
I think he's out of form. It's something that really matters at Augusta is putting, but most importantly is that stroke gain in your approach to put yourself in a good position to putt from.
Sure.
I think that Cam Smith can hang around the cut line with his putting, but if you're a sub, I mean, he's 29th on the Live Golf points list. If he's not playing good golf there, I find a hard time think that a guy where he's really a hot and cold guy. When he went on streaks on the tour, he was right there every week, and that's what good putters do. I think he misses the cut.
My man.
Crow.
Caught him.
Caught him.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. There we go.
All right. So Hillsman gets the favor there, which are we doing this where
I
it's
actually
like-
didn't think about
it's
this.
triple point? We'll do triple points because you're down 14.
And
Thank
it's,
you.
and
Come
it's,
on,
and it's the
Hillsman.
Masters.
And
I like
yeah.
that, yeah.
It's the Masters. All right. I'll go first with our next one, Phil Mickelson.
Nick Filkerson. I'm kidding.
Phil Mickelson. He recently, he was top 5 in Live Golf Miami.
Somehow, yeah.
I think he's going to make the cut.
Woo.
Hillsman. Oh. He's avoiding.
It's tough,
He's
man.
avoiding again.
Like, because, he's been so good at the Masters, but screw it. He's going to make it. I like it.
All right.
I like it. I really
Bro,
do.
Do you like
I
our
actually
picks?
I actually had him as a miss until about 10 seconds ago. And I heard his name and must just been the way you said it, but I was like, Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, sign me up.
I'm in. I'm in. He makes it.
All right. I got Crow about to run through a wall. Brendan, what do you think?
I'm the biggest Phil guy going. You say what you want about Phil. Some of the stuff he does to himself, he brings it on. I just like Phil Mickelson. He's authentic. He's a guy who just is his own personality. He lives life the way he wants to live, and he plays good golf. And where does he play some of his best golf? In Augusta, Georgia. So I think Phil Mickelson not only makes the cut, I think this guy seriously finishes in the top 20 of this tournament. I watched a long video today. This course, it plays into those power fading left-handed golfers.
It does.
And what Tiger said, he said the biggest thing that people don't realize about Augusta National is the greens are just different. They're just different. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows how. Nobody knows how to replicate it or practice it. And only the guys who have that repetition. I mean, the Phil and Tigers of the world know what the 12-foot lines look like on all these pin positions. Not that, they make every putt, but I think his work around the greens and his ability to, if he can keep that big fade in play this week, I really am expecting a big week out of Phil, and it starts with making the cut.
Lefties play here better than any other major.
Yeah.
30 of the last 20 years, 30% of winners at Augusta have been lefties. Wow. Only 10% at the U.S. Open, 10% at the PGA Championship, and 0% at the Open have been left-handed players.
Yeah. Never have a lefty that has won the U.S. Open. In
the last 20 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. I do want to take a little sidebar because you mentioned the putting, and I brought this up to Hillsman. He hadn't heard the story. Have you guys heard, Brenny and Thomas, about Tiger Woods putting on his gym floor before the Masters?
I have not.
You've not heard this? Before either his first Masters in, I think it was 98 or something, or the one he won in 2000, he went to the Stanford Gymnasium, put golf balls on the floor, and tried to get it to stop at certain feet. Because his logic was, if I can make a ball stop on a gym floor, I'm going to be like hammering it at Augusta. And then he went and won.
I don't even know how it's possible to make a ball stop on a gym floor. That
No.
I just
Exactly.
can't. Like that just makes me realize like how poor I am at golf in relation to these guys because it's like the feel. Like think of that. Like you would have to feel every single dimple in the golf ball coming off of your putter face and then into your shaft, and then these big heavy grips that these guys use. Like that control is unbelievable if they're thinking about it to that amount, and that's just speed we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll move on to our next made or missed. Fred Couples. Instant shakes of heads from that side of the table. All right, so Hillsman, you're saying missed?
Unk don't got it anymore, man.
Okay.
I love Fred Couples. I really do. He's
got experience.
I know, but the longer this course gets, I think the less of a chance the guys like Fred Couples have. I don't think he's making it.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think that he's missing the cut.
Yeah.
Brenny and Crow.
Not at
gonna
65
miss,
years
yeah.
old.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Love the shout out. Love having him on though.
All right. I'm gonna say that Tommy Fleetwood makes the cut. Hillsman.
You're darn right you are. Yeah, he's making it.
Never won in a PGA event.
He's never won at
or
all.
a major. He's won on the European Tour.
Okay.
Tommy Fleetwood's got to be one of the better golfers out there who's never won an event.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not
yeah.
know that.
Yes, dude.
He's just one of those guys who you look at his name and you're like,
he's
he
good.
definitely won an event in like 2021. Like,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on, sure.
A year that
That's
disappeared.
wicked. Yeah.
Brenny, you agree? Make
Yeah,
the
I mean,
cut?
he's only missed the cut one time. He's played in the Masters every single year since 2017. That's the year he missed it, his inaugural year at Augusta. So
Yeah.
he's kind of been a tone setter. What is that? Nearly a decade now. He's pushing it that he's made the cut. So I think Tommy is safely in there.
Yeah,
I like it.
Tommy Fleetwood has 8 international wins, none on the PGA Tour, in 151 events played. He's made 128 of those cuts.
That's insane.
He's got to be,
Thomas.
guys, correct me if I'm wrong. He's
Yeah.
got to be the best player on the PGA Tour that hasn't
never win.
won.
Yes,
right?
Yeah,
there's no doubt.
And he's had probably the most heartbreaking loss on the PGA Tour
Correct.
when Nick Taylor made that 80-foot
Yeah.
putt in Canada.
that was unbelievable.
And it was like that entire country won the lottery.
Yes.
Tommy
Oh,
was
yes.
just
oh my gosh.
the Englishman standing there in the middle of the party.
Oh
He's
my
finished in the
God.
top 5 25 times, has been runner-up 5 times, third place 5 times, and 38 top 10 finishes.
Yeah. Well,
25 top fives and he's never won?
Yes.
Thomas can't believe it.
That's wicked. I mean, I like Tommy Fleetwood a lot. I think he has cool hair. But
He does.
I
He
picked-
fairway,
not have-
fairway Jesus, dude.
I
That's
picked him
his-
to
Yeah.
win earlier this year. I was really wrong.
Yeah, Hillsman picked him to win in a golf tournament.
Just for fun. Just for fun.
All right, we're going to go from one Englishman to another. Hillsman, give me Tyrrell Hatton.
Oh, man.
He
Again,
was
there's
labeled
a
as
live
one
guy.
of the best
Yes.
live golfers.
he's a top 10 player in the world.
He
Or at
is,
least
yes,
it was at
yeah.
one
Oh, yeah, I
point.
think he still
Last
is.
time I
He's-
was on the show, he was.
I believe he's still the only live golfer in the top 10.
That could be right.
So I think he's going to make it. I have
Gonna
no
make it.
reason to believe that he won't.
Yeah, I agree. If he's a top 10 player in the world without live points counting,
Yeah.
something clearly is working for him. Yeah, he'll make it.
Yeah, he won the first tournament of the European Tour schedule in Abu Dhabi.
That's what got him in.
That's what got him in. Yeah, so I think he's going to make it as well.
I think he misses the cut.
Ooh.
Tyrrell Hatton is
Oh, wow, he fell out.
widely
yeah.
known
Yeah.
as just a extremely talented golfer. If you listen to the rest of the pros talk about him, he shot 9 over in Miami over the weekend in the live event. This is a guy that form is everything. He just goes after every flag. I don't think that Tyrrell makes the cut this year.
Okay.
What is Russell Henley doing at 7th in the world golf rankings? Anyone want to tell me
He's
that?
just making cuts and finishing in the top
Yeah, I know,
20.
it's
That's what guys
crazy.
do.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Russell Henley.
I'm going to tell you that Brooks Koepka is going to miss the cut.
Ooh.
Hillsman.
Ho, ho. I don't hate that pick. I really don't. But which side do I pick? Man, that's so tough. I think he's going to be right on the bubble.
Yeah.
I really do.
So is he going to make it or is he going to miss it?
I know that's the question. He's going to make it.
All right.
He's going to make it.
Thomas, is he going to make it or is he going to miss it?
I think Brooks actually competes.
Ooh,
I think
wow.
I think Brooks finishes top
15 maybe?
top 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he is there on the weekend.
Brenny, give me something.
Come on,
dude.
guys. What are we talking about? This is Brooks Koepka. Is he making the cut at a major championship?
like,
Yes.
Come on. This guy's a 5-time major
Give me
winner.
points, fellas.
Brooks Koepka's going to show up in shoes that are from like 2014. He's going to walk all over that golf course and probably go through 8 tins of dip in the front 9, and he's making the cut. I think the question for Brooks Koepka should be if he's not in the final couple pairings on Sunday. It's a major.
Brooksy and Scotty rolling out the final pairing.
That would be crazy. Hey man, he hasn't competed much in majors since that last win in 23, the PGA or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there. I'm just trying to. I don't know.
Give me points, fellas. I need points. I need a comeback.
All right, I'm gonna tell you that Joaquin Niemann will make the cut. Hillsman. Do it. Do it.
See, I don't want to do it, so I won't. He's making the cut.
Okay, fine. Crow.
I agree. I don't think there's much validity to him being the quote unquote best player in the world if Liv counted, but he is one of the best players on Liv right now, and that's a story for another time. But that's still quality golf. He's still competing. I think it translates.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think the only argument people can make against Jocko Niemann is his ability to be on Liv. He's played at Augusta more times than some of these younger studs on the PGA Tour. He makes the cut. He's that talented. I really like his game. I talked about it earlier.
Yep. Hillsman, John Rahm, is he going to make or miss the cut?
He's not making the cut.
Oh, okay.
That might be why you have, 59 points, Hillsy.
Okay.
Rombo?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
man.
playing terribly.
He's like minus 500 to make the cut.
I know.
All right.
I'm going to say he makes it, and I know I got Brenny on my side. Crow, what do you think?
Come on, Thomas.
Hillsy needs points. I think Rombo makes it, but I'm not saying that for sure. I don't know.
I just want to look at this guy.
I mean, it's just like I get like if you said like Jocko Niemann misses the cut, but like this is like Brooks and Rahm. Like
Rahm did win just 2 years ago, but Hillsy needs points.
Okay.
I'm rigging the system.
You're being a nice guy. I respect
I'm rigging
it.
the system.
or are you just making him lose more points?
It could be that too, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to throw some spice into it. Why not?
I am going to start with Jordan Spieth, our last made or
Yeah.
miss, and I'm going to say he makes it.
Oh.
Hillsman.
Man. Why are you putting me in this position? Like,
You got to give us an answer, dude.
no, he's not playing well enough. His form has not been good. I think his injury is still bothering him.
That's very interesting. I'm pretty sure that he's like top 10 in his last like 2-3 tournaments.
I'm aware.
Interesting. Not in good form. Thomas, what do you think? Is he making or missing?
Yep, major winner, Masters winner before. I think we've talked about it all episode. That's a big deal, and I think he makes it.
Brenny.
Everything I've talked about says that Jordan Spieth makes the cut. You look at the odds, he's the first real funk I see in these odds. I love looking for funks in odds, and what I mean by that is a number that shouldn't be a number.
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth at 33-1 to win this golf tournament has no business being at 33-1. Jordan Spieth in some PGA Tour events has been at 45-1, 60-1, but back at Augusta, they have him all the way down. That is ahead of names like Minwoo Lee. Is anyone in better form than Minwoo Lee this season? Russell Henley doesn't miss cuts. Patrick Cantlay's making cuts. Victor Hovland's coming off a win. Like, we're saying a name that is higher than guys who have performed this entire PGA Tour season, but the odds makers are pretty much slapping us across the face and saying, know who you're talking about, know this golf course, and I think Jordan's been here, and I think he makes the cut.
I like it. All right.
I'm going to be so dead wrong.
We're going to see how it goes. Hillsman, I want to start with you. Very last thing we're going to do is we're going to pick our winners.
Yeah.
Who do you have winning it?
I think this is the year. I think Rory McIlroy is going to win the Masters.
All right. Someone for the record, someone had to take Rory.
Someone had
to. Be a
to.
question
Right,
of who was
yeah.
going to do it. I appreciate that from you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Crow, who do you think is going to win the Masters?
Who did you just give slack to for where they were in the World Golf Rankings?
Russell Henley.
Russell Henley's winning the Masters. Russell Henley, 4-time All-American at the University of Georgia. He's from Macon. He has made the cut 7 straight times, tied for 4th in 2023. He's finished top 23 times or 4 times. He won the Arnold Palmer Invitational earlier this year. What else can I say? Or no, the Genesis, not the Arnold Palmer. The Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
Tied for 4th in 2023. When I saw him win the Arnold Palmer, he stayed calm the entire time. All we've talked about is mental games. It was big for him. He needed it to insert his name into the point standings for the Ryder Cup. He needed that win. He got it. moved him up to the highest rate he's ever been in the world golf rankings. I like Russell Henley, and not just to not have like a popular pick.
Yeah.
I actually like Russell Henley to win this tournament.
I love that. I love that.
I
pick.
was shocked that you were going with him, but your reasoning makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
All right. Friendship
like it.
remade. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. Brenny, what are you thinking? Who's winning?
Andrew, we've disagreed this entire podcast about everything, but somehow when push comes to shove and we're selecting our winner, I agree with you. I think that Rory McIlroy wins this Masters.
Yep.
I just think that the way that he is playing the game of golf right now, the simplicity of it, the power in his wedges, the confidence that this guy just walks into any golf course, and even if he doesn't play well, he still thinks, and in Rory's eyes, he knows he's the best player there. That's just how he thinks, and that's what it takes at this place. I think that he looks at this as more of an opportunity, and the media tries to make it look like Rory looks at this like he's scared. Rory's not scared of anything in this game. He's accomplished everything besides this weekend, and I think this could be a really special 2025 Masters for Rory McIlroy.
I like it. We got 2 Rory picks.
And I don't like Rory McIlroy. I'll add that as a kicker. I always root for the American guys just because, especially in the home soil tournaments. And, especially with Rory kind of being a voice of this tour and even the American tour, he does a good job at it. I don't necessarily agree with everything he says. Yep. But Graham, you've dished us out questions all day. I'm really interested to know who you take.
Let's hear it.
Well, this is interesting. I thought someone was going to pick Scottie Scheffler. I am not going to pick Scottie Scheffler. No one in this podcast booth apparently thinks Scottie Scheffler is going to win this Masters. I have been hinting at it, I feel like, a little bit in this podcast based on who I'm going to pick. I am going to say that Jordan Spieth wins the 2025 Masters.
You kind of look like Jordan Spieth.
Little Dusty May, Jordan Spieth.
I'll take it, dude. I take it.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
He has been playing good golf.
Yeah.
He knows Augusta better than anyone, and he loves that golf tournament.
He knows it both sides.
Yes, he knows the heartbreak and the trophy, the championship, the winning. I think Jordan Spieth is going to win the Masters. We'll see.
I just feel I want to provide, I guess, some more clarity to my made or miss pick. We've seen that collapse before. There's no reason to say I don't think it can't happen again early in the week.
No, I agree.
I think he's more mature, though.
Oh, I agree, but it's Augusta.
It is. Yeah,
so you never know.
Really matter all that
and
much
that's
sometimes.
why we watch every year. I can't wait.
I can't wait
It's
either.
gonna be so much fun.
Gentlemen,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us here today. Thomas Crow on the left, Luke Brenneman on the left. It was a pleasure having you both come back on the podcast. We're definitely going to do it again soon. There are 4 majors.
Yeah.
We're trying to have 2 guests for every major. So hopefully we will see you back on the podcast. The
Always
Masters begins on Thursday. I know we'll all be watching. Hillsman, any last words?
It's Masters week, baby. Let's go. Let's ride.
Perfect.
Can't wait.
A little bit of a longer episode today, so thank you so much if you stuck with us the entire way. Georgia's finally arrived, and we could not be more excited on the Cut Line. We will see you next week. Thank you all so much for joining us here on the Cut Line.